Hey YouTube, it's TillyJS. This is a request and dedication to tttar, and I'm going to call you tttar. That's my special name for you. Tuki Tuki. But anyway, I told you that I would make a video for you in response to basically you and everybody else who's like, how can you not give a shit about Farrah Fawcett? I mean, her story is just so compelling, and just because you don't know her doesn't mean you can't care about her. Okay, that's a fair argument. But I would argue from the logical and reason portion of this, and this is the best way for me to put this to you, tttar. If you look at an obituary and you read all the names, I doubt for a second that you feel sorry for any of those people. You don't know them, you do not have a personal relationship with them. So there's no way, unless you're lying to me or yourself, that you really give a shit about them. I'm sorry. That's the problem with the news announcing, this just in, 23 soldiers have been killed in Iraq. Okay, that's just a number, and that's why people get this, for war, for instance, desensitized to war. It's just a number. It doesn't hit home. But when you start showing pictures and telling stories with the family, then you can be a little bit more empathetic. But just saying, oh, so and so died in a car crash, and you didn't know them, you just don't care. You don't have a social relationship. You don't have a personal relationship. You just do not know that person. So to show, I just call it fake empathy and fake compassion. If you have a family member that dies, or they heard that you broke up with a girlfriend or whatever, and they come up to you and say, oh, I'm so sorry, they're not really sorry. I don't know why they do that. I guess it's just to try to show you that they're a good person. They don't really mean that. They didn't know the person. They probably don't even care about you. But that's just my view and spin on it. But anyway, I wanted to go into a couple of your comments and answer your question. Or actually, I guess I only have really one question to answer since I answered the other portion. You compared... Well, actually, I got 2 points. The first one was you compared what I said about not caring about an individual you know to the Holocaust. That is a big-ass stretch, because you're talking about somebody that you don't know, one individual, that you do not care about. Okay, again, now you're talking about the Holocaust, which was 6 million people. And I gave you the answer that eventually it will affect you. And what I meant by that was the Holocaust was a genocide. I guess it'd be a genocide. But anyway, an extermination of species, culture, ethnicity, whatever. But using Adolf Hitler as an example, let's say he would have taken over all of North Africa and Europe and invaded the United States. Well, let's say that you're not blonde-haired and blue-eyed like his perfect race was. So when he captures you, he just goes ahead and kills you. I mean, that's what I'm saying, is you had to stop that because that's pure evil, and it could eventually get to you. That's the difference. So comparing not caring about a person you don't know to the Holocaust it's beyond apples and oranges. It's apples and bananas. But anyways, and that's my answer for that. Moving on. Now, you asked the question, you said that you saw my video about my wife almost dying and happy she survived, although according to me, you shouldn't give a shit about my wife. And I answered, you shouldn't give a shit about my wife. You don't know my wife. You don't know me. We have no personal relationship. You have no personal relationship with my wife. At least you better not. But anyways, if she died, you would care less. You just would. I mean, that's just the facts. And if you said otherwise, I would have to call you a liar. But anyway, then you gave the example of what if she was drowning and you were there? Well, then you can make the choice. You can either save her or you can't. And there's mitigating circumstances with it. Can you swim? Can you save another person and stay afloat? What's the situation, the surrounding situation involving the drowning? I mean, there's a plethora of situations that could could affect your decision on whether or not to save someone. But you say, if I knew that you had the opportunity to save her and you didn't, how would I feel about that? Well, again, I would hope that I wouldn't have let emotion override my intellectual abilities and be able to assess the situation and ask you those questions. Well, what happened? And understand what happened. But again, if you knew her yourself, because you're insinuating that I would know who you are, so that probably means you know who my wife is. So again, that changes. You have a personal relationship with my wife. So again, that's your choice. If you choose to save her, that's on you. If you are selfish and say, well, fuck her, I don't care, then that's on you. That's something you have to live with. If you can live with it, then that's your deal. How would I feel about it? I'd be pissed that my wife died. But if there was nothing illegal, then, you know, I would have nothing against you. I mean, I would just be pissed that she died. I think that's it. Let me see. And you said, on what basis would you say that people would help in a situation in fear of retribution? I don't know. I don't know why people do things. For instance, my radio was being jacked in when we were on a travel summit in Austin, Texas, and we were at a Walmart, and we were parked in the front, fucking right next to the door, and there was a guy in my truck jacking my radio. Now, it was like a $120 CD player. It wasn't even that expensive. And the smart thing would have been just to call the police and not get involved. But no, I run over there, jerk his ass out of the truck, you know, call the cops and restrain him until the cops show up. I don't know necessarily what made me do that. I mean, sometimes we just do things and, you know, there's no explanation for it. Retribution, I guess, maybe you don't want that person to suffer. I mean, there's all kinds of circumstances you could put into that. But anyway, I think that's it. Hopefully this is a coherent thought. But I guess that's it. I'll just end on that. You know, again, going on the fear of retribution. Well, no, that's screwed. I'm done. That's it. Hopefully this answers your question, tttar, and peace out, man. Have a good week.